Hola, Sati out here in Singapore, and as always, thank you so much for joining me on the Night Owl Podcast. You guys, for those of you just joining in, I am an emotional intelligence coach. I teach about life and relationships and communication, and my whole goal is to give you so much self-awareness that you understand what it is that you're going through before you spill it out onto somebody else. Hurt people, and I totally get that, and I feel like if I can give you a little bit of a sense of what it is that you're going through and why you're going through it, then maybe if you encounter someone who's in pain or in a position to maybe possibly hurt you, you know what you need to do in order to get away from that situation. Remove yourself, your energy, your presence, so that you don't add to the drama and you don't get sucked into the drama either. So this is where I'm coming from. This is simply put all that I want to do for the rest of my life. Serve people with daily doses of inspiration, intuition, compassion, so that you can find more and more peace in your life. Because that's basically what I'm going to talk about tonight. Peace in my life. You know what I had to start doing? I had to start really understanding what it was that made me happy. Once I understood what made me happy, I was able to realize why certain things did not make me happy, why certain things pissed me clean off, and I wanted to go off and react rather than respond to situations. There are so many times that I've been invited to an argument that I happily walked right into it, got caught up, and ended up really, really hurt myself, not realizing that that person was in pain, that person was looking for a reaction, and I gave them exactly what they wanted, and guess what? They transferred their bad energy onto me. So here are a couple of things that I stopped doing to gain peace in my life. I stopped arguing with people. Now, when I say arguing with people, I'm talking about that idea that I need to prove that I'm right, not that you're right. I don't want to hear what you have to say because I'm right, and that's basically it. An argument is a debate to convince the other person that you are right. This is why you present arguments in court, right? Whereas you could have a discussion with somebody, which means I respect your right to think however the hell you want to think. And then I know that you're going to respect my right to think whatever the hell I want to think. And we can talk about the differences between our two viewpoints without trying to convince each other that one is wrong and one's right. That helped. Like, I can't even explain how much it helped. I think people would benefit greatly if they could learn how to communicate. And especially in romantic relationships, there is such a thing as just having a discussion. You can tell people how you were raised, what kind of pain you went through without having to one-up each other or prove that that isn't really that big a deal because mine's worse. You don't have to do a pissing contest. You don't have to prove the other person is wrong, right? You can actually both be individuals, both have worth and value in the relationship without ranking the other person. I get it. You want to feel like you're important, but you don't have to step on somebody else to feel important. You don't have to prove the other person is full of shit or making stuff up or making a big deal out of nothing for you to feel important. I've had so many instances in my life where I was in pain. Let me give you an example. I went through a cancer scare when I was about 22. I found a lump in my breast and I was terrified, like freaking out because what do I know, right? I thought, oh my gosh, if they cut a lump out of my breast, that I would have a divot in my breast and I would just never be able to, feel confident naked ever again. That's not the truth, but I was freaking out anyway. I did, however, keloid. So once I actually got the lump removed, I keloided, which means the scar became bigger than it should have been. And it looked like I had a third nipple for a while. I was freaking out. I was very, very insecure. And at the time, my fiance was not very supportive. He did not understand why it was such a big deal to me. He didn't understand why I was freaking out so much. He was just like, shut up, just stop complaining about it because he was tired of hearing me complain. Why? Because suddenly he did not have room to complain about anything that he was going through. Not that I said he couldn't, but he felt like in comparison to this recent cancer scare, what could he possibly complain about? So he did everything in his power to make me feel stupid and kind of like a drama queen, and I felt really, really bad about it. Looking back, I know now that what I could have done instead is let him feel however he wanted to feel and not give him the reaction he was looking for, as in mind my own business, smile and nod, and keep on going because I was in pain. I had to recover from stitches. It was just a sore spot for conversation, but it was also a tender area on my body. And I was just trying to wrap my head around the fact that let's be grateful that it wasn't cancer at all, but I was able to remove it rather than biopsy every 6 months because I didn't feel like going through the trauma of trying to figure out if it was or wasn't cancer every 6 months, right? It was unnecessary drama for me. So I thought, just get rid of it completely. There was another instance later on that I had to get my wisdom teeth removed and I got all 4 removed at the same time. Now, I don't know how many of you have been through that drama, but it's not comfortable either, which means you can't eat the way that you want to. You have to be eating in the front of your mouth. You have to be careful of the sutures. You have to keep your mouth clean. You can't eat anything just all willy-nilly. You got to have like specific foods that are easy to chew and swallow. Made me look like a crazy person while I was eating. I looked very, very silly, but I wasn't worried about how I looked. I was just trying to find a way to be able to drink and eat and actually keep the food down because I was still in a lot of pain, and the medicine that they gave me for the pain kind of made me squeamish. So I was having trouble with that, and of course, the same guy gave me gave me grief over the fact that he can't take me nowhere because I don't eat like a normal person no more. I look really embarrassing to him. So he was very, very concerned with outward appearances, how people would view him, whether he was popular or not popular. And I felt sorry for him, but what I didn't think of at the time was to not play into that drama, but I got very offended. And I would run behind him trying to figure out why he was so upset with me. Why do you feel this way? Why do you pick on me? Why, why? And so the nagging turned into us fighting all the time. And basically, I fed into his little invitation to argue, and it caused all kinds of problems. Now, he's not the only one. I've had plenty of examples with my daughter, with my mom, with my brother, with my ex-husband, with my stepkids. Anytime that they were feeling kind of crappy and they would start some trouble, they would say some snide shit out their mouth, knowing full well that it would tick me off or put me on full tilt, and then not knowing any better, I would play into it. So the minute I played into it, they got what they wanted. Ha, she's upset too now. And now I can transfer all this bad energy that I've been feeling and I didn't know what to do with onto her, and I will feel better because I put her in her place. Recently, I got into an altercation with a friend of mine, and they were just in a bad mood, and I couldn't see it. I didn't know any better. So I came in with this chirpy attitude, and I just wanted to ask a couple questions, see how they're doing, because I was trying to figure out exactly how much time they had before they had their next appointment. So asked a couple questions, did not realize, but learned real quick, they were not in the mood to answer anything. So with a couple of snippy remarks and stuff, I went away thinking, oh my God, what did I do wrong now? So I just left them be. Instead of engage and ask them what I'd done wrong, I just walked away from the entire situation, left his energy behind me because I was afraid that if I went in and asked any questions, I would be told off some more and I would be made to feel like I was the cause of everything wrong in his life. And so I walked away. Probably the best decision I ever made, but guess what? I had to make a lot of mistakes of asking or approaching people in the past to learn that this is not the best way to handle this. So for me, you guys, when I want peace, this is one of the things I stopped doing. I stopped arguing with people. I do not need to prove my point. I do not need to tell you that I'm right. If I believe I'm right, I believe I'm right. If you believe you're right, you can believe you're right. I don't need you to convince me otherwise. I don't have to accept what you're saying. I don't have to tell you that I don't accept what you're saying. You hear what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? Because if I tell you that I don't accept it, guess what's going to happen? What do you mean you don't accept it? But I don't understand. Let me know. Tell me what's going on because I need to convince you that I'm right. So I don't engage in arguments. If I'm invited to an argument, if I'm invited to an altercation, which means somebody comes and nags at me, somebody comes and pokes the bear, I can either snap back at them or I can just roll over and pretend I didn't feel it. Which at that point, it's up to them if they want to try and poke me again, right? So it caused a lot of grief whenever I engaged with people who were looking for a reaction. It took a lot of self-awareness for me to suddenly realize, yo, they're looking to pass off whatever crap energy they've got going on, and I don't want no part of it. They can go find somebody else. That is also bad for me, from my standpoint, because that means I'm not able to diffuse the situation and they're going to go out and hurt somebody else. But for the time being, the self-awareness part kept me safe because I was able to walk away from that situation. Now, as a counselor, I realize that I have the ability to take that energy from them, to act hurt if I need to act hurt, so that they feel better, and then I go transmute that energy, which means I convert it into healing for myself. I convert it into, okay, well, why did that make me so upset? Why did that affect me at all? Where am I not healed yet? Because it shouldn't have affected me. You hear what I'm saying? So I'm working on it. Now, I'm far from a finished product, but I am working on the healing part of all this. So if you notice, in the beginning, when you're not mature and you don't know any better, you're going to engage in the argument. Somebody says something, oh my God, no, you didn't. No, you're not looking at me crazy. No, you didn't use that word. Call me, a bastard one more time. Any of those things, you're going to start the fight. You're going to engage. You're going to continue the cycle, and they're going to pass off their energy onto you. Second phase of this, you're going to be self-aware. You're going to realize, hey, oh my God, I see the trap. I see the trap. I see it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk right the hell around it and keep on going because I am not stepping in that mess. I am not getting caught up in your drama. You have to find another way. I'm sorry, sweetheart, but I ain't the one today. And then finally, the next phase is you understand that they are hurting. You understand that they're trying really hard to get rid of this energy and they don't know any other way to do it but to start an argument, start some kind of altercation. So if you feel balanced enough, you can go in there and do your best acting piece and be like, oh my God, I can't believe you said this. Engage gently, allow them to pour that energy onto you, and then you walk away and you do what you got to do, which is transmute. So for me, I'm between phase 2 and phase 3. I'm working on it. I'm not quite there yet, but eventually, nothing anyone says will faze me. Nothing anyone does will faze me. Not even if they roll their eyes, or suck their teeth at me. None of that. No neck snapping, no finger pointing, nothing. I will be fine. Which at that point, they have no choice but to sit with that pain or allow themselves to dump it on me, and then I got to do what I got to do, which is transmute that stuff back into light. So here it is. Here's what I feel. This is one aspect of how I find peace in my life. If you have any questions, drop me a line. In the meantime, try your best not to get into any altercations. Try your best to notice when someone's itching for a fight, because trust me, it's worth it to stay away. I love you guys. I'll catch you later.